So you already know that a ton of people are moving to Austin. And if you found this video, you're probably doing your research on moving to Austin. So today in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 5 reasons why I decided to move to Austin. Hi, I'm Tiffany Moore. I'm a local realtor and broker right here in Austin, Texas. I help people from all over the world move to Austin. If that's something that you're thinking about doing, my contact info is below. Reach out to me however you're comfortable. Text, email, DM, whatever. I've got your back when you're moving to Austin. So before we jump into it, I want to share with you how I came to move to Austin. So I grew up in a small town in Central Florida called Winter Haven, and I never really felt like myself there. I never felt like I really fit in or belonged. So I got out like as soon as possible. I went to college, and then I ended up moving back. I moved back to Winter Haven for work. My boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, we were both working there. My family was still there, so I got to hang out with them for a while. But then a couple years went by, I'm like, okay, I got to get out again. So my husband and I were working on climbing the corporate ladder. He ended up getting promoted to El Paso, which was so exciting. Like El Paso was so exciting. I'd never been to Texas. I'd never been to El Paso. We were going to be living right across the border from Mexico, and it was just going to be like this big adventure. So we went out to El Paso. We were there for about 3.5 years. And it was awesome. We really loved it there. But while we were there, we met a lot of people who were like familiar with Texas, had lived in a bunch of different areas. And everyone was like, you guys belong in Austin. Austin seems like the best place for you. We're like, okay, let's check out Austin. So I ended up going to Austin for a work trip a couple months after we moved to El Paso. And I was like, yep, pretty much. This is the spot for us. We need to figure out how to move to Austin. So a couple years later, my husband got promoted again. And we moved to Austin, and we decided, you know what? If we ever get to Austin, we're not leaving. Like, this is just where we're going to live. And that's pretty much what happened. That was 11 years ago that we moved to Austin. We bought a house here. We settled in, and I love it. Like, it's absolutely everything that I thought it was going to be and so much more. So I'm going to talk about the 5 things that made me really want to move to Austin and see if any of them resonate with you. First is the vibe. And I know this is like the highly objective scientific information you're looking for. But honestly, like the vibe in Austin is something that can't really be described or quantified. It's just a feeling that everyone is welcome and everyone is free to do their own thing here. And whatever you want to do is going to be fine. As long as you're not hurting other people, no one really cares what you do in Austin. And this just like level of acceptance was huge for me and totally unknown. So I mentioned that I never really felt like I fit in Winter Haven. Kind of the same thing in El Paso. I kind of felt like an outsider in both cities. But when we moved to Austin, that's when I really felt like, oh, okay, I can be 100% who I am. And there's a place for me here. And that was something that I had kind of been missing my whole life. So it was huge for us deciding to move to Austin. There's just very little judgment here, whoever you are and whatever you're interested in doing. There's a community here for you, whether your, hobby is underwater basket weaving or cigar rolling or martial arts or playing guitar, whatever it is. Like, there are people here that also like to do those things. There's already a community here. Or if there's not, you can start one and people will be like, oh, cool, I've been wanting to do that for a while, but there wasn't anything set up for that. So Austin is just some place where you can come and be yourself and people like celebrate it. The second biggest reason is the music here. If you didn't know, Austin is the live music capital of the world. And there's literally music everywhere. I would kind of compare this to Nashville. I went to Nashville for a bachelorette party last year, which was awesome. Also, Nashville to me is like the bachelorette party capital of the world. It was so cool. But Austin, we have music everywhere. And in Nashville, they have music everywhere too, but most of it is kind of on Broadway. And seriously, every time we went to like a bar or a restaurant on Broadway, there was like amazing music there. Every bar we went into, I was like, what are these people doing singing at a bar? They should be like on tour. They should be getting record deals and everything. But in my experience in Nashville, and I was only there for one weekend, so like, don't at me in the comments if this isn't true. It was mostly centralized to that Broadway strip. Austin, the music is everywhere. And, we have our downtown area, but we have so many different venues and pockets and so many different types of music here that literally whoever your favorite band is, I promise they just came to Austin or they're about to come to Austin. Are you going to see them sometime this year? Like, so many people come through this town because it's so big for live music and there's so many different places for them to play that it's not just limited to like the huge like basketball stadium, you know, or huge like 50,000 people venues. Like there's so many little pockets and venues that people play music that you would never know if you're not looking for it. So right now, while I'm filming this, South by Southwest is going on. And South by Southwest is a huge festival for so many different things. Most people know it as a music festival, but it's also for education and technology and film and really just like innovative ideas. It's kind of hard to say that, but it's a really cool festival for people to come together and just like share a thought, share ideas. It's a lot of people who are moving things forward, a lot of folks in tech and in startups and things like that who just kind of want to come together and meet each other and talk about their ideas and partner together and make the future better. So it's a really cool festival. Most people know it as a music fest. And people are coming to Austin right now, like flying in, driving in, hitchhiking in to play music, to watch music, to support the music industry, to just be around this awesome energy that Austin kind of supports and produces for South by Southwest. Before Dave and I actually moved to Austin, we visited several times. We lived in El Paso for about 3.5 years, and we would come to Austin often for like long weekends, or if we had a meeting here, we would just kind of extend it and have a fun weekend. And we used to always come out and see shows, get tattoos, and eat really good food. And we always said like, man, we can't move to Austin. Like we can never move there because if we do, we're going to go broke with all the shows that we want to go see. And so when we finally did move here, we were just like, going to see all the shows for all of our favorite bands that were coming. And it's like, oh yeah, I love this person. I love that person. It was seriously a 1 month where we saw like 7 shows, 4 of them in 1 week. So we had to put boundaries in place. Now we know that we can never ever buy tickets for shows that are on Sunday nights because Sundays are our like sacred rest days. And we've just like abandoned so many shows that we've had tickets for because it's like, oh my God, I'm just so exhausted. I cannot go to a show tonight. So you are going to have to put rules in place if you are a music lover and you're planning to come to Austin to see all the shows that you want to see. You can't see them all. I have tried, like from experience, I've tried. It's not possible. But if you love live music and if being in like a venue and a crowd and seeing your favorite artist sing your favorite song, if that just like lights you up inside and that is something that you want to experience frequently, Austin is the place to go to do that. And I promise, like, if you haven't seen a lot of shows and you haven't gone to see live music a lot, just come here on a vacation and see a show or two. It's magical. Like, it's so awesome to have this shared experience with everyone in the audience that's singing your favorite song and they know that song and they've been listening to this band for like 15 years. It's a really cool, like, communal experience and it'll get in your body. It'll get in your soul. So if you love that, if you're interested in that, Austin is the place to be. It's a huge driving factor for why my husband and I decided to move here. The third reason is the food. Oh my God, the food. We cook a lot. My husband is the best cook. We used to cook all the time, but we just do not have that much time for it anymore. So we can cook really well at home. So going out to eat was always like an experience for us. It was never really out of necessity. It was more like, okay, let's go experience some amazing craft, someone has taken a lot of time and energy and care to make this amazing dish for us. And let's also go have a really nice experience. So when we go out to eat, I want really good service. I want to have this really nice ambiance. I want to see good design and I want to experience amazing food. It is really hard to keep up with all the good food in Austin, whether it is like a restaurant, a food truck, a pop-up, a private party, like wherever you go, you're going to be able to find good food. So I want to just share some of my favorite restaurants in Austin and some of the reasons that I moved here, some of the awesome places that I've discovered since we've been here. Uchi and Uchiko are hands down my absolute favorite restaurants in Austin. Dave and I have been coming here before we moved to Austin. So about 15 years ago is when we started coming to these restaurants. And then whenever we would come to Austin for like a special occasion, like we'd come for birthdays, for anniversaries, that was always a stop on our trip. And for a few reasons. One, the food is incredible. And I want to say it's like Japanese small plates. There is some sushi, but I can tell you I've never had a roll at Uchi or Uchiko because there are just so many other amazing dishes to have. And so now when we go, we have like our favorite 3 or 4 dishes that we always get. And then we just kind of tell the server, like, listen, this is our budget. We have 0 dietary restrictions. our life is in your hands, you know, like take us on a journey, send us your favorite dishes, things that you think we would love, and let's just have an experience tonight. And we have never been disappointed. The other thing that I love about Uchi is the service. Like when we're there, we're usually spending like 2 to 3 hours for dinner. It's somewhere that we can relax and just have a good time and talk and enjoy this amazing food and cocktails. The ambiance is beautiful. It's just overall an amazing experience. And that is what I'm looking for when I'm going out to a nice restaurant now. Because we, like I said, like we can cook all the food. Like we can cook pretty much all the food. But I really want someone to take care of me now when I go out to eat. And Uchi is always a go-to because I know I'm going to get the best service, the best experience, and the most amazing food. It's seriously like every time I go, I'm like, best meal of my life. That was incredible. So a restaurant that I want to say is kind of similar or at that level is Emmer and Rye. And this is kind of like an American version of Uchi, I guess you can kind of say. I don't want to take anything away from Emmer and Rye, but it's at that same level of craft, of ambiance, of service. But it's more of like American fare / Italian, I guess you would say. Their major craft is like pasta, to the point where they grind their own flour for their house-made pasta. So they're taking this craft very seriously. They're very serious about the ingredients, about what goes into them, about the process, and they're controlling every aspect of this dish and its delivery to give you like the best experience with it. I know I keep saying experience, but really it's not just about the food. Like these restaurants are my favorite because it's the whole time that you're in there. It's just awesome. So another thing that I love about Emmer and Rye is they come around like every 15 or 20 minutes with like these dim sum carts. And it's like, cool, here are the things on the menu. And then you're going to have these surprise offerings on these dim sum carts, which I have never had other than eating at like actual dim sum. You know, like I'm here to eat dim sum at this like Asian restaurant. So to see it in like a totally different setting and to experience that like excitement and wonder and all the things, the surprises when these carts come around, it's like, oh my, it's so much fun. It's like being in like a food playground. So that's an amazing experience. The service is incredible. The setting is gorgeous. It's in the middle of downtown. So that is also one of my favorite restaurants for all of those reasons. It's just a fun night. And I know I'm going to get taken care of. I know everything I eat is going to be amazing. And it's a great place to go and celebrate and relax and just like enjoy life. We also love casual food. So I mentioned that we don't really go out a lot. And when we do, it's to have like a great experience. But we do go out sometimes and just eat food, right? So there's this restaurant downtown that I have been wanting to check out for years. It's on Elizabeth Street. It's called Elizabeth Street Cafe. I knew they had really good pho and I love noodles. I love soup. So it's like, oh, how could this be bad? And so I was talking to Dave, I'm like, we have to go to this restaurant. I've heard really good things about it. It looks amazing. And he like refused to go for years because it was called Elizabeth Street Cafe. And he's like, that's so dumb. It's on Elizabeth Street. How unoriginal. It's called Elizabeth Street Cafe. I bet the food is bland. I bet they have no creativity. Like, no, I'm refusing to go on principle, which we do a lot. But we just found out one of our friends works there. And so we had to go to support her, obviously. So we finally go to Elizabeth Street Cafe and it is divine. And I am so mad that for years we haven't gone because he thought the name was stupid when this whole time, like they have just had amazing food. So I want to say it's like Vietnamese meets French, almost like a French colonialism, Vietnamese mashup. So they've got pho and they have banh mi and they also have beignets and macarons. It's the food is incredible. It's done at a very high level, but the setting is also very much like chill French cafe. There's a lot of tables out front. You can linger there for as long as you want, or you can grab a bite to eat and go on about your day. They also have amazing cocktails. So everything that they do at Elizabeth Street is like refined, it's nuanced, it's very detailed. Everything is thought of, but not in a stuffy way, in a very casual way. And that's one thing that I love about it. So you're also going to have amazing service and it's a beautiful setting, but you're not going to pay as much as you would at Uchiko or Emmer and Rye. So it's a good in between. And the last place I want to talk about today is called La Holly Cantina. This is like very casual tacos, like basic tacos like barbacoa, birria, al pastor, things like that, chips, guac, everything like that. And then they have very high-end like mezcal and tequila cocktails. So it's a bar, like it's a full bar. They'll make whatever you want. But their specialty is high-end mezcal and tequila cocktails, which are just to die for. So if you haven't picked up on it, a few things that I am looking for in a restaurant in Austin is like very high-end craft. Like I want people who are doing a really awesome job at like a few things. I'm not trying to go somewhere where the menu is like 40 pages long and they're like, oh, we do everything okay. Like, no, I want you to do a few things like very well. And I want the service to be really good. Because I'm not going out to eat for utility. I cook most of my food at home. I eat to like support my life, but I do love really, really good food. And so when I'm having one of those occasions where it's like, yeah, I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend some money and I'm going to have good food or good cocktails or amazing service, like that is one of the reasons that we moved to Austin, is because there's so many places like that here. These are just like our top 4 favorite, but there is a list of like at least 100 places that I would also go to that I can have similar experiences. So this was a huge driving factor for us to come to Austin because we love food. We weren't that into cocktails when we moved here. We were more into craft beer, but it's kind of evolved into like an appreciation for cocktails with the food. And just the whole ambiance and experience it's amazing. There's so many awesome places here. Like you would get lost trying to go to them all. So the fourth thing that really drew me here was it's really green. And I know that sounds basic. And if you're coming here from like Portland or Seattle or even like Minnesota, where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of like trails and trees and things like that, then it may not seem like it's that big of a deal. But when I moved here, I was moving from El Paso. And El Paso is the desert, you know? And so, like, yes, there are mountains there, but they're all like brown rocks. And there's no grass in the yard because it's the desert and it doesn't make sense to have grass. So all the yards are like xeriscape. And it's like dust everywhere. And there's just like brown dust flying throughout the air everywhere. Like El Paso was pretty brown. And then you would fly into Austin and you just like immediately, you're just like, oh my gosh, there's these green trees everywhere. And as you're driving around, especially now in the spring, it's like there's just wildflowers and bluebonnets that pop up on the side of the road and in the meadows and parks. And it's just like there's so much life and abundance here that it's like that feeling kind of permeates everything, especially in the spring. Like right now is the most magical time in Austin, I think. We have like 4 to 6 weeks of spring before it starts getting like hot, before it starts getting into be like summer. And so this is the most precious time because we just had ice apocalypse where, you know, almost everyone lost power for a while. And now we have this transition period where it's like, oh my gosh, you can hear the birds chirping and there's little buds coming off the trees and these bright green leaves are coming out and all the flowers are budding and the wildflowers are popping up and the bees are out. And it's just like this period of like regrowth and rejuvenation. And there is something in the air here other than the plants, you know, it's like the being green and the abundance of everything, it permeates everything. And so you really get this vibe of like possibilities and innovation and growth and things like that. That's how I interpret it. That's why I love being in Austin, is because I see this growth and I'm just like, okay, yes, everything is growing. Everything is turning a new leaf. We're all primed for something new right now. And I feel that, like I get that in Austin. That's why I'm so connected with it. So the fifth thing that drew me to Austin was the growth and the opportunity here. Now we moved here 11 years ago. When my husband and I moved, we were both still working our corporate jobs. But even from that lens, Austin had this sense of like, something is coming, something's on the verge, and Austin is where the future is going to be, even in our corporate careers. And we've both since left, started our own businesses, and like that vibe has just exploded since then. Like there is so much growth and opportunity here, but we had no idea what was coming. We could just see it from this tiny lens that we were experiencing Austin from, which was like, cool, we worked at our corporate gigs and that was fine. And then we would go and do the music and the food and the tattoos and everything. And then Monday we'd come back and do our corporate thing. And it was kind of like we were living 2 different lives. Well, we both quit our corporate jobs. Now we're not living 2 different lives. I embody my whole self 100% in my business. And my husband, Dave, runs our Muay Thai gym, and it's such an expression of who he is and what Muay Thai means to him and what he wants to kind of help other people to experience. It's been so amazing to be able to be our full selves in our whole life, in our personal life, our professional life, with our friends, with our business partners, things like that. It's like, I don't have to live 2 different lives anymore because there's so much opportunity here and growth. And if we weren't in Austin, I don't know that I would have quit my corporate job and gone into real estate. I don't know that he would have ever gone into martial arts and opened up his own gym. But being here and being around these people that are encouraging you to listen to, your own beat and to march to the beat of your own drum. Being innovative and starting your own business and doing your own thing is highly encouraged in Austin. And there's such an environment and a community to support that. And we could feel it 11 years ago. And now, like everyone knows now, like Austin is exploding. And there's so many businesses that are moving here and growing here. And not just the big guys like Google, Amazon, all those people. Like there's so many small businesses you've never heard of and startups that are here and solopreneurs and tiny businesses that are just here doing their own thing and living an amazing life. Like I know that's happening in other cities, but there's such a buzz around it in Austin right now. And that is one, why we wanted to move here. And two, like why we're probably never going to leave. Like there's just such a fun energy here and this like sense of growth and opportunity that it's intoxicating, really. So if you're thinking about moving to Austin and any of those things that I just mentioned, the vibe here, the music, the food, that it's green, that there's life here, there's abundance, and there's so much growth and opportunity. If any of those things resonate with you, this may be the place for you. And these are some of the things that I help people talk about on our calls is why Austin? Why are you moving to Austin? There's so many cities you can move from if you want to change, but why here? And we're really going to drill down and make sure that this is the right place for you. So if any questions at all, my contact info is below. Reach out to me. I've got your back.